Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was either the Dino X shot as my Omegahorn horn, or producer Cat Obi purring his way through. Which, speaking of, you might be seeing his tail. Anyway, that being said, hey everybody, what's up? This is Retrokid Reviews, fixing up the cam like usual. Sorry for the open door policy, bit of a thing since pets are going to be producing today. Since this is going to be an animal-based Toku review so far, I'm only going off of highlights for Project Red's new season, Omegahorn. Full title and wikis down below for both that and the final episode of Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity, because I want to get some more about the highlights of that. So, if anyone has been seeing Hercules' crash outs so far of how short most of Gavan Infinity has been, the main reason is Gavan Luminous and her partner were on again, off again, dead, not dead, swapping powers. That whole subplot kind of confused me here too. And you're probably wondering, hey Retro, you're doing a check-in so far for a Sentai-like series, 20 episodes in. Is that a good sign? No, that's not a good sign, because apparently Toei is now going to be cutting down the seasons to 20 plus instead of the traditional 50 plus that Sentai seasons have been accustomed to. And I am still calling Project Red shows a Sentai-like season because they are replacing, for now at the very least, Sentai until they come back from hiatus whenever Toei chooses to. So, I have not really saw much of the highlights of the final episode for 23, other than, I don't know if it was that or the penultimate episode when they were doing the fight scene in dimensional space. I want to call it Mokuku space in honor of the Showa era series, but I think they have a different terminology for those dimensions, so again, wiki down below for that. The main reason I want to talk about that final sequence is because they had a split sequence instead of the fight scene to basically have animated by potentially Studio Trigger. Trigger is not known, is known to help out Tokusatsu series in the past, historically. I think here on this channel I've talked about their adaptation of Gridman. So as far as the Hyper Agent goes, yeah, go to my review for that back in the day. Having said that, I don't know much after that. It just sounds like their final form they gave for Gavan Infinity is actually not bad. Would have been a traditional Sentai-like battleizer armor. A good couple of arcs in, not 20 plus, and making it your 11th hour of the final episode of the series, so that was a lot to take in, honestly. For their Jiraiya, I think Reiji is his character name. My apologies in advance. Again, I'm all over the map trying to, like, get my bearings back into this universe, this franchise, now knowing it's going to be a 20-plus series. So, again, let me know in the comments down below. That being said, he looked good. I don't know if he had the better arc. Unfortunately, now that it is a 20-plus season, I now have to basically figure out Death Gavan's whole deal, and that will be the same case for a lot of evil Metal Hero characters going forward for the Project Red series era of this of the show. So, with that said, I don't know. Again, my final review is pending and probably will be a year-ender, which means I will be digging for fan subs because, much like Gavan Infinity, now going into Omegahorn, the aka episode 1, Awaken, Red Kazuzu King, Kakuaeihunter Omegahorn. Episode 1, Project Red apparently is going to be getting it one more episode than the last season, so semi good news there. No word yet if that means they're going to have just an episode to promote the crossover that they're inevitably going to have. If it's going to be like a Sentai season, they have to have crossovers and stuff like that, kind of like, you know, Sentai crossovers of the past. Now, does that also mean the same thing for that Sentai handoff? Because I am aware that they did technically do a handoff both in the final episode and going into this episode. So, what does that mean and what does that entail? Well, if you saw the marketing for most of the toys, in Omegahorn's case, they're keeping the gear aspect of Gavan's whole electroplate blasters and making it his whole, like, I guess, key centerpiece for activating his awakening horn blasters and whatever going down the road for the season. I won't talk too much about Shout himself, the character that is Omegahorn in this new show. He's a good Red Senshi. If this was if we're gonna go bar for bar, if this was like Sentai Red Senshi kind of territory, he's more happy-go-lucky than you think he is. He's doing the monster hunting mainly to not I think not Hercules. All Stace basically said in Christian said in his debut review is that he was kind of more like a Pokemon hunter kind of thing, minus the scalping prizes with the cards and stuff in the actual fandom. So with that said, the big thing I liked about the marketing for this show so far was that it's very Monster Hunter inspired. They want to have like a Pokemon like feel. This is a type of genre, Metal Hero, and sometimes since I don't follow too much on, I think a Metal Hero series never made it this far in the original era of the show or through early Heisei era for that series to never make it this far of a concept. So it is cool to see how this goes. You get an idea of every major character right from jump. The female hero or heroine in this case, I thought was gonna pump fake into an actual metal hero. But no, that didn't happen. So again, I won't talk too much about it. There is some spoilery stuff, like a early helmetless reveal before de-transforming back to his regular self. And the whole baseball cap thing, it was very obviously Pokemon inspired. And from what I saw from All Stace's review, it turns out you can, like, he's using it as a way to defuse and de-henshin, which is actually a really cool concept. I hope that's a practical thing that can keep going forward effects-wise. So, judging time for both episodes. Sorry, I just had breakfast before this. Yeah, so judgment time for both episodes, unfortunately, in Gavan Infinity's case, is inconclusive and incomplete. Like I said, for not just that show, but for probably Omegahorn going forward, I'm probably going to have to make them overall reviews for the end of the year content instead of just midway through, since you can see here it's kind of hard and jarring for me to talk two shows at once as a normal if this was a normal Tokusatsu review, it would be a double review, but this isn't a normal double review. It's inconclusive because I don't know how Toei go out of its way to have official trailers that you can now see legally throughout the world and landlock on both shows, and to the point that I have to go back to fan subs. So that's a whole thing in of itself. There's got to be like a good marketing reason to it. I doubt there will be a press conference for the West to explain this. It'll probably just end up being a tweet or whatever going down the road. That all being said, if you've seen these shows through fan subs or saw the Raws, like I'm seeing highlights wise here, second screening aside, what is your overall thoughts of Gavan Infinity? Do you think it needed a few more episodes to pace out their storytelling? I think so. Are you disappointed that this is a inconclusive score like myself? Again, let me know in the comments down below. What is your overall hopes that Omegahorn can learn from their previous series? That way they can, in the Project Red department, move forward, tighten up what they need to tighten up. And I guess before we get to the end cards, I will say that this is a little disappointing with Gavan Infinity's ending. To keep in mind, this is a show that is a 40th anniversary tribute to previous space sheriffs throughout the 80s. Kenji Oppo tragically passed away this year, and I believe Juban's actor also passed away this year as well. So again, I really wanted to see some more like vigor and like pride of having this type of Tokusatsu genre back in time for the anniversaries and everything. So I don't know, I'm still all over the map emotions on that, so let me know in the comments how you feel. So with that, and probably meaning a new face mask or I guess cover sheet or something to look, I guess, Monster Hunter themed next time. Yeah, first stand here to obviously sub to channel, hit the notification bell down, gear as always for that as well. High point this video if you are a mobile subscriber. And speaking of those mobile subscribers, Encar's finally coming here to my previous video, which was obviously talking about everything that's been going on in San Diego Comic-Con. Speaking of which, hand here to my shorts playlist for the Ryan Gosling casting and any other things I missed at Hall H, because this was a very active weekend. And speaking of which, yeah, hit the follow and notification bell, like I said earlier, to when I inevitably do my brand new day Spider-Man review later this weekend. So with that being said, take care, subscribe, and this is Retrokid review saying, yeah, so how did 23 episodes, like, make sense? Like, I get the pacing, but, like, that was way too quick even for Toei. Like, what was that? Seriously.